Hello everyone, this is The Big Fight and I'm Maria Shakil. The shocking stabbing case of Saif Ali Khan has left the entire country stunned. Everyone was glued to their TV sets for the updates on the actor and also how he was attacked. We all heaved a sigh of relief when doctors said that Saif was out of danger and recovering after a surgery. After 5 days, Saif Ali Khan walked out of the hospital and went home, and the cops said that they had arrested the attacker. Just when we thought that the tragic story was over with Saif back home in better shape and the attacker in custody, came out the conspiracy theorists and doubting Thomases. Irresponsible commentary from politicians and needless sensationalism has hogged headlines for the past few days. One minister of the Maharashtra government even doubted if Saif was even attacked. Another Neta of Maharashtra again raised questions over his speedy recovery. What is the intention behind all this surround sound, noise, and senseless sensationalism? Is this not insult to Saif's injury? Are we seeing a redux of what we saw play out after the tragic suicide of Sushant Singh Rajput? This is turning out to be clearly a cheap TV drama. Joining me on the show to discuss this is Akash Deep, who's an actor and friend of Saif Ali Khan. We have Flora Saini, who's an actor again. Bhavna Sumaya is a film critic. We have Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS officer, and Rohit Chandravarkar, senior journalist. Flora, I'm beginning with you. You know, if you look at the reactions which have come in from the politicians versus members of the film fraternity, there's a huge difference. The film fraternity stands clearly with Saif Ali Khan, and rightly so. On the other hand, the politicians are, just playing politics and giving it all kinds of color.
I totally agree, Maria. And I mean, the politicians and, the minute you open your social media, all that you read is so many mindless theories that people have been coming up with, and I really feel bad for the family. I really feel that they deserve their moment of whatever they've gone through. It must have been one tragic night, something you really, you don't think in a place like Bombay, in a society like theirs, something like this could happen to them. And it does kind of raise a lot of other issues, but I don't think, all these conspiracy theories, as you said, really, they are so ridiculous. And I really feel bad listening. I really feel so sad for the family, in a moment like this, instead of feeling, my God, I really can't even imagine what Saif and his kids would have gone through that night to, take himself and his kids to the hospital all by himself in a rickshaw. And you really don't know if he's going to make it. I don't know how badly he was injured. What a night it must have been. And we all should really be looking at what all we can do to step up the security in our houses, because we all stay in Bombay, and God forbid if this was a burglary, it can happen to any one of us.
Yes.
But we choose different, we choose memes. It's a meme fest out there in this in social media, and it's really sad.
Yes, absolutely. Rohit Chandravarkar, why do you think we are seeing politics over it?
Good question, Maria. Do you think there is anything in this country that happens without politics? I mean, I've said this earlier on your show on different occasion, on a different subject, but I want to repeat that, because right from cricket to Bollywood to everything else, business, everything else is driven by politics, isn't it? And that's so unfortunate. And what we have right now is a situation where there are some ministers of Maharashtra government, some leaders from across party lines, I'm not naming any party, who are just speaking too much. And I think they are not being responsible. And I think they have to kind of take a call on, how much they should speak and what they should speak and all of that. And that maturity is just not there. I think at such a moment, it is the job of their party high command or their leaders in the government, as in this case, maybe chief minister or whoever, to kind of, give them some idea about, what they should speak and what they should not. To add to this, Like Flora mentioned, there is social media, which is like adding fuel to fire all the time. And I think, I want to say a few words about Mumbai police because I've lived in Mumbai, worked in Mumbai for such a long time, many decades. And I think generally speaking, when there is this kind of a high profile case, when there is so much media attention on it, etc., they are very professional. And at least these types of cases, they are very professional. And of course, there is some discrepancy, like the media has been pointing out, in the visuals that you saw in the CCTV and the face of the accused. And based on that, basis that, there are all these kinds of theories that are floating in social media or media, which I feel is really unfortunate, because there's going to be fingerprints, there's going to be other evidence, there's going to be a lot of other things which is going to be presented in court in this kind of a high-profile case. So I think people should be really responsible when they open their mouth and speak on media or social media, especially politicians who are not really behaving well.
We did not really expect anything better from them, Akashdeep. Not much of a surprise that likes of Nitesh Rane and also Sanjay Nirupam have said what they did. But the question is to say that was he acting or was he really stabbed, questioning the entire incident while one family went through those horrific moments and are now finally seeing that there is some recovery. Saif Ali Khan has recovered and is and has returned home. There should be some kind of empathy. I mean, are you of the opinion that we as a nation just seem to somehow enjoy other people's sadness?
No, Maria, I feel these are, dishes being cooked in public and everybody's comment is just free flow of masala. Unfortunately, when you cook a dal or you cook a paneer, you add masala to it. So all that they are doing is adding masala. I can understand responsible people raking up questions or finding discrepancy between the CCTV footage and the person nabbed and stuff like that. But putting it all as a question mark on whether, like, what is being implied as I watch and follow, that probably Saif staged it, or there is reason to believe that, oh, how's he walking properly after treatment, and why was Karina not in the rickshaw, and why a rickshaw? Now this is really crossing the line and going too far. I think, and in fact, I probably feel that Saif did the right thing. You couldn't leave your children behind because you don't know whether this is a solo person or there are others there. Could it be to kidnap their son and ask for ransom? So he took one son with him and Karina followed with the other son. I would not question that move. The driver was not there in the night, so I would expect an affluent family like that to have a driver in the night, but fine. That can't become conspiracy theory. And when there's no driver, you rush in a rickshaw, fine. The point is that, if I have to start finding faults and lacuna, I can find it in everything, and I just feel there was a robbery, there was a burglary, because there was no larger gang plan, there was no ransom, there was no threat, there was no underworld, there was no other known reasons for this attack. So this was a burglary which is often heard of in any part of the world. And in 4 or 5 days, Saif is back home and he's okay. And I think the matter should be laid to rest, and, they should not be up for so much scrutiny. I mean, if there is a glaring discrepancy like the face of the man walking down the steps and the face of the person caught, and people are saying they're not the same, I'd like to question that what made them decide that this man coming down the steps is the robber. He could just probably be a Zomato delivery person or any such person. How have you presumed that this guy climbing up the stairs or coming down the steps is the intruder? Saif alone can identify. Saif's servant can identify. Bring them in separate rooms in the police station. Keep these two around and say, or just keep 2 photographs around. Who was the person the maid was talking to and bargaining? Identify. Saif, identify, because you were there. And if everybody points to the same person, matter is over. I don't know. I mean, I think I should leave this to the experts. I do agree that this
you enjoy other people's misery is clearly what is visible here. Yashwardhan Azad, your thoughts on this entire incident, and then I bring in Bhavna Sumaya.
Well, it's going along prescripted lines. Celebrity all over the world are under the public eye. Therefore, the inconsistencies which arise, they are raising it. It happens everywhere. The Sun tabloid does it in UK. Los Angeles Times does it for the Hollywood people. But here, in this particular case, a few things are absolutely very, very clear. Number one, there is a solid evidence which has been collected by the Mumbai police to connect the accused with the crime. So which means a burglary has happened. And there are footprints, that there is a blood trail, there is the examination of the third weapon which has been found at his instance. And the question of whether the faces match or not, after all, an AI tool ferreted it out of so many, public appearances of that guy. So obviously that is also on the correct line. Now the inconsistencies are right. Why wasn't the PSO there? Why wasn't there was sufficient number of CCTVs? Why is it that in Bombay a window would be without a grill, where you have experience of old-timer professional burglars who put oil around their body and go up shafts and up to very high floors? So these are questions which people ask. When celebrities give out their photographs on every occasion, I mean, they should be able to take all this. But Saif turned out to be also a real-life hero, as also a real-life hero, and he fought, and he's done a great job. So I think it's along prescripted lines. We're looking too much into it. And as far as the Indian media, TV, who are making theories and conspiracy theories, less said the better. And as far as the politicians go, even lesser the better.
Okay, Bhavna Sumaya, film critic, is also joining us. Bhavna, thank you so much. This entire debate around Saif, many would say it is media sensationalism as well, because conspiracy theory, different channels running it, multiple theories being floated. Is it the same kind of sensationalism that we saw during Sushant's case, when it was just to grab the eyeballs?
I think so, because somehow the media is not letting go of the story. They are finding new angles every day. And I think this is one of the disadvantages of electronic medium or a digital medium, that things go on and on and on, and we become desensitized towards it. At the moment, what we ought to be thinking is that already the man has gone through so much, leave the family alone for a while. When he's ready, he's going to make a statement. Or what are the lessons learned from this? But instead, we are going into things like, is Saif Ali Khan acting? Because how can he become all right in 4 days? I mean, what's going on? Why would anybody act about a stab or an attack like this?
Absolutely. Why do you think the facts are being twisted?
One, because he's a film star. Two, because his family is high profile. Three, because everybody knows about his children also, since the paparazzi is always parked outside his home. And four, because even the fourth generation, that is Saif's mother, is an actress. So it gets like more the merrier.
Yes. So many generations of actor, and that's the family. That's the reason why there is so much of media, attention as well, and curiosity around this. But do you think it's because of the new age media that we are seeing and the kind of access that the film stars have started giving to paparazzi? And of course, it's a very unfortunate turn of events. There is a lot of politics which is happening as well. Why do you think we have this entire noise around this case?
See, number one, if this had happened to you and me, you think anybody was interested? No. If this had happened to your or my neighbor, would anybody be covering it on the television? No. So everybody wants to cover it, and then everybody wants to dissect it and say that, oh, but why is this going on and on? Somebody has to stop.
Yes, and
I feel, how can we say that it is because they are giving access to the media? If the media is parked outside their home and they have to go in and out, how can they control it? And how long are they going to go in masks or in hoods and save their children. You have to lead a normal life. But I'm sure after this, the family and Saif is definitely going to pause and ponder and revisit and redefine their lifestyles, their priorities. And step number one has been taken. He has changed his security. So the argument should not be that what is happening to the film stars and the security, what is happening to the city and the security, or what is happening, why is the actor suddenly become all right? How do we know that where is it paining him? How do we know that how much difficulty with which he's walking to the car? Just because he's putting up a smile, we are thinking that he's hale and hearty.
So how are you looking at the, all these statements, of course, where politicians are raising questions, and of course, the attacker's identity has taken that unfortunate religious twist as well.
Also, I saw one video where some wannabe activist is got a picture with the rickshaw driver who saved him, and now making a plea to Saif Ali Khan that you should buy him a house and you should buy him a rickshaw. I mean, who are you? And why are you making these pleas to the actor? It's like something happens and then nobody wants to let it go. Everybody wants to just sponge it for their own profile or for their own channel or for their own paper. It is disgusting.
I completely share your anguish and anger as well here. Akashdeep, the larger question should be about the safety security. First, the incident of firing outside Salman Khan's Galaxy apartment residence, and now the incident inside the house of Saif Ali Khan. But instead, everything seems to be being discussed or investigated. We have too many Sherlock Holmes right now everywhere. But the core issue of safety security is being completely overlooked.
Yes, Maria. Unfortunately, we had probably 50 crore Sherlock Holmes trying to analyze the Sushant Singh Rajput incident, and nothing happened. It was milked and milked and milked and milked by a few media houses which kept saying we detest Bollywood and we hate Bollywood. It's an irony that why do you then cover any story that relates to Bollywood so massively on prime time and milk TRP? I can understand raising pertinent questions. Let me tell you, Saif, Kareena are very honorable people. They are very distinguished people, articulate people. The stories doing the rounds are detestful. People are saying that probably the whole incident is staged, and making a mockery. Did he come to rob shoes? I mean, come on. I mean, shoes must have just been something he must have picked up on the way to doing his larger deed that he wanted to. And politicians get into all this they get prime time footage, and otherwise I don't understand why every politician has to jump in on every such thing. Maria, I'm dead against this over analysis on incidents that happen to Bollywood, I must say, and I agree with that larger point of this debate. But yes, unfortunately, following this story, a couple of things did come to my mind. Like, I can't believe such a hard steel knife could have broken.
Yes, but the doctors have confirmed injuries. We have put out those graphics of facts of this case.
I don't deny the stabbing. I'm saying a hard steel metal knife breaks into two. That means the injury must have been so severe. Then the question arises of how was he normal in 4 days? See, now this is because the analysis mode has begun and people are getting carried away. Okay. And like my friend said,
so Flora, what is expected out of everyone? Leave the family, let them,
that's the first thing. That should happen.
Let them be. Let Saif recuperate and let the family be around him.
I totally agree.
Flora, go ahead.
I totally agree. I think at this moment when they are, kind of healing, I think they are in their healing phase. The entire family is coming out of the shock. Saif's healing from his wounds, and of course the shock of the night. And even for the kids, it must have been such a harrowing experience. So I think they should just be, left alone. Let them have their moment. Let them recover. Let them come to terms with what really happened that night and heal from that and become stronger as a family. Come closer together. I think people should just let them be. And also, I sometimes feel we've just become heartless as a society, as a community, as a generation. We've just become heartless. We don't help people as much, And I mean, he did what he had to, and like Sir rightfully said, that yes, he is a hero, a real life hero who saved his kids. He took himself and his kids to the hospital. I mean, I totally salute that, and I think they should. It's
Absolutely.
sad
I
that
mean,
we
here is
believe.
someone who protected his family, ensured that everybody else in his family is safe. When the attacker came with that knife, the least that all of us can do is don't dissect this incident anymore. The case is being looked into by the police. Let them do their job and let the family be left alone, and so that they can come together and heal together. Thank you so much for joining us. All those who joined us on the show tonight, Flora, Akashdeep, Bhavana, Ayushvardhan Azad and Rohit Chandravarkar. That's all from me on this edition of The Big Fight. Thanks so much for watching.